Hey guys, welcome to Moneyball. Today's Sunday. It's a little rainy over here today in Tampa, Florida, but we're here nonetheless. Guys, we're starting a series on underwriting secrets. Now, I own a mortgage company here in Tampa, Florida, just in case you didn't know. And I've been in the business for about 22, 23 years. So you can imagine over the years, throughout the decades, I've learned quite a bit. Some of which you can only learn by living the life of a mortgage banker day in and day out. So today we're going to share how to qualify for multiple properties, even if, guys, you're on a W-2 salary income of $30,000 a year. Let's make that $20,000 a year. And that's not a joke, guys. Stick around. I'm going to show you how to do it. And before we go for a quick break, make sure you smash that like button. Please, if you have not subscribed yet, sign up. We're going to be releasing things every week that will put change into your pocket. Guys, thanks. And remember, we're looking out for you. So guys, welcome back to the Money Ball. We have some great secrets to share with you today. So let's dive right into it, okay? So guys, we get calls all the time here of people that want to buy properties, but they either don't have high enough W-2 or salaried or even self-employed income to qualify, or they don't have money to put down on the property. Because as you know, when you buy something other than a primary home, you have to put down more money. So are there answers to these problems? Can you qualify any kind of other way? Well, guys, I'm here to tell you that you are. And remember, I'm going to release some information to you that you need to be careful with what you do with, because this information can get you in trouble. I'm not going to teach or coach you how to defraud a bank, obviously, but I'm going to share with you some very key things that you need to listen very closely to, okay? So let's get started. Now, again, my name is Andrew Alfonso. I own a mortgage company here in Tampa, Florida. Remember, guys, when you make up your mind to buy a piece of real estate, which is a great idea, by the way, because at the end of the day, they are not making any more land, guys. It's not made in a factory somewhere in China, and when it's gone, it's gone. And when you make that decision to buy a piece of land, you're either going to buy a primary home, you're going to either buy a secondary home, or you're going to buy an investment property. And so let's focus on the average person that's maybe living with mom and dad or with a friend or a group of friends, and that's their primary home. They rent, so they don't really have a mortgage payment. So me as a mortgage banker, how do I look at that? Well, the good news, guys, is we do not count rent payments into debt-to-income ratios, which means that whether you're paying rent or not, I don't care. It doesn't make any kind of a weight on the decision of us to lend to you, yes or no. So don't be afraid to tell me that, hey, I live with friends or I live with family and it's rent-free. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And I want to encourage you to think about this next thing I'm going to tell you. If you find a house that you like and the house is vacant, okay? Now listen closely. The house is vacant and you don't know yet if you're going to rent it out. You don't know yet if you're going to rent it out. Are you listening? You can buy this house as a second home. And as long as the home is within, or I should say as long as the house is located somewhere between 40, 50, or 60 miles away from where you live now, and most importantly, it's located in an area that would be considered a Mecca. What do I mean by Mecca? I mean a tourist attraction. Orlando, Disney World, Madeira Beach, Clearwater Beach, where the beaches are. People travel all across the globe to get to our beaches here in Florida. So remember that. What does that mean? That means you could almost pick any home in Florida if you live in the Florida area, and you could feasibly say it's a second home if it meets some other criteria, being mileage and distance and things of that nature. So why would you want to do that? Well, because you can buy one second home, and in that second home, you can put down as little as 10%. On most investment properties, you have to have 20 and 25% down. So guys, that can save you a lot of money. On a $200,000 home, 10% is $20,000. 20% is $40,000. So you see the difference there. Now, here's what you came here for today. Let me tell you another huge underwriting secret, okay? So you're living with friends and family. You have a W-2 income of $25,000 a year. Let's say you're tossing chicken over there at Walmart, okay? Nothing wrong with that. You get up and go to work every day, so be proud of yourself. but you want to buy an investment property and you got a little bit of money saved up that mom and dad left you when they passed away, or you came into some money, enough for the down payment. But in your mind, you're thinking, well, wait a minute, I can't afford the house payments on on my rent and a new property. Well, guys, what I want you to remember is this. And when this changes, I'll let you know, but it hasn't changed for years. Right now, throughout the underwriting system in the banks will allow you to use the future predictable income on a lease to qualify to buy that property. Now, let me explain what that means, because it's really kind of crazy. What that means is, let's say you get a contract with your realtor on a $400,000 property, and the payment on that property with taxes, insurance, the whole 9 yards, let's say it's $2,300. Now listen closely, okay? This is important. We will allow you to use 75% of the payment that property is supposed to bring in. In other words, the rent that property is supposed to bring in monthly to qualify. Now, we're not going to arbitrarily give it to you. You have to ask for it. And how do you ask for it? What you do is, with your contract that you submit with your realtor and to your mortgage broker or banker, you also submit a lease. The banks will only ask you for a lease between you and a third party. That third party cannot be related to you. So by relation, what we mean is they can't have the same last name as you. And that's as far as we go to check on that. So you provide me with a lease, and the most I'll ask for is a copy of the first month's deposit check or rent payment on the first month. So those two things get you in the front door. Now listen to what this means. So you've got a contract on a $400,000 home. The payment on that's supposed to be whatever, $2,300, $2,400 a month. You need to make sure you're buying in a neighborhood where the rent is, say, $2,800, $2,900. 75% of that figure should cover all of or most of the projected house payment. And as long as it does, when you turn in that to our underwriting departments, the contract on the new house, a new lease, and the first month's deposit check, no questions are going to be asked, not even for first-time investors. Put those together and turn it in. And yes, if you make even $25,000 a year, the banks will allow you to purchase this property. Why? Because they are allowing you to buy the property based on the fact that that property can pay for itself. Now, I know that sounds crazy, and to be honest with you, it is kind of crazy. And one day this will change. But heck, this video is about underwriting secrets, and there's your underwriting secret for today. So now here's where it gets a little bit even crazier. You can do this on multiple investment properties. You want to make sure you don't get yourself into trouble, because obviously the bottom line is, guys, if you don't make these payments, if you lie on these applications, if you don't really have leases to cover these payments, and you don't make payments for a good number of years, they're going to come back and they're going to audit these files, and they're going to figure out that someone lied to them. And yes, they can call the entire loan due. They can take you to court. You can go to jail for mortgage fraud. It's a serious business. So I wouldn't say this is anything at all to play around with. What I want you to know is that if you have the best and the purest of intentions and ways of renting out these properties, this is how people, normal people, are obtaining 11, 12, and 13 investment properties. Now the cap is usually 10. When you get to 10, that won't work anymore, where you turn in leases and whatnot. But there is another secret that I've learned when you get over 10 that I'll share with you in the next video. So do stick around for that. Now there's one more thing I got to tell you guys, and then you'll be free to go for the day, okay? This is super important, and here's what it is. Now let's say you don't want to buy all these properties at once. Who rarely does, right? Pick up 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 properties all at once. Well, you don't have to, but you do need to remember one thing. And here's what that thing is. Remember, we look at taxes in arrears. So let's say today is, what is today? We're in June, right? We're in June. So you come to me, I'm going to ask to see your taxes for 2020 and 2019, because the tax years have just passed. Filing just for 2020 just became available. So if you buy, now listen carefully, if you buy a property now in June, and you don't have to show me. It won't. In other words, it won't be on your tax returns until 2021. Most people don't file their 2021 tax returns until the April or June of the next following year of 2022. So there's a window. You have a window from June of right now, 2021, until April or June of next year, 2022, to where you can buy properties, and I won't ask to see your tax returns. No, I'll just ask to see leases. Now, what's important to remember is that if you pass that date of the next filing, then the leases no longer work. We're going to ask to see your tax returns to make sure you claimed the appropriate rent that you said was going to be on there. So do you see how this can come back and bite you? Because if you buy one property, let's say you buy a property right now, and let's say you buy two properties, one now and one in August. Okay, that's great. But let's say you don't buy your third one until you file tax returns in June of next year or April of next year. And let's say you go to purchase that property in July of next year. Well, the filing has passed, so I'm going to say, hey, Mr. Mrs. Borrower, let me see your 2021 tax returns so that I can verify the properties that you bought in June and August of last year, which is this year for our conversation, are on your tax returns, that you put them on there. I can accept the leases that you used to qualify for those properties within underwriting. Now I need to see if they're on your tax returns. So it means there's a loophole. There's a period of time to where you can get away with using these leases. Other than that, we're going to refer to tax returns. So what does it all mean? It means buy the properties as quickly and as soon as you can. Or, better yet, do what you said you were going to do. Put them on your tax returns so that when we go back and check them, they're there. You don't want to get yourself in trouble, like I said. Okay, guys, I hope this helped. So guys, that wraps up today, and I hope you learned something valuable. Remember, everything I told you have to use in sparingly. You have to make sure that you do the right thing, make the right call. Remember that if you make your mortgage payments on the houses that you acquire, you're never going to have a problem. The banks are not going to come knocking at your door, okay? And you never want to blatantly lie about anything on a mortgage application. You want to be honest with these folks because they have systems and ways of finding out and rooting out the people that are there to defraud them. Believe me, I know about that. And guys, thank you for coming today. Remember to subscribe, because if you do that, all of your dreams will come true. And we appreciate you guys being here today. We'll see you next Sunday. God bless and take care. And until next time, stay safe.